Rahul, any answer from you? Okay, so Rahul's answer is also 60. That's perfect. So what is the logic? The logic is that out of these three, one student will be selected for a scholarship. Out of these five, one student will be selected for scholarship. Out of these four, one student will be selected for scholarship. Now, is there an or kind of a situation between them or an and kind of a situation between them? Of course, it's not or, it is and. Whenever it is and, you always multiply the options. So for the first scholarship, I have 3 options. For the second scholarship, I have 5 options. For the third scholarship, I have 4 options. So the total number of options are 60, as has been correctly answered by Rahul, Zoya and Ananya. Is that clear, everyone? Now, if I change the language of the question and I say that in how many ways can any one scholarship be awarded, then what will be the change in the answer? Instead of saying all the 3 scholarships, I say any one scholarship being assigned. Then what will be the answer? In that case, it will become an or situation. Either the first scholarship is to be given, or the second one, or the third one. So whenever it is an and language in the question, the options or the ways are multiplied. Whenever it is an or kind of a language in the question, the options or the ways are added. So for the first scholarship, I have 3 options. For the second scholarship, I have 5 options. For the third scholarship, I have 4 options. But if the language of the question is changed like this, I mean either to do the first one or to do the second one or to do the third one. That's correct, Ananya. In that case, you will be adding it up. All right. So this question has basically made you clear with the language that has been used in the question. If it is like necessary to do all the 3 things, then you will multiply the number of ways in which those 3 things can be done. If the language of the question is you have a choice of doing any one of the 3 things, then the answer will be obtained by adding the number of ways in which those 3 things can be done. Is that clear, everyone? All right, so if it's an and, the answer will be 60. If it's an or, the answer will be 12. Right, okay, let's take up the next question then. So what you have learned till here is when you talk about permutations and combinations, right? So the number of ways you are arranging the things comes under permutation, whereas combination only talks about selection, right? In permutation, order definitely matters. In combinations, it doesn't matter. In permutation, you're talking about list, you're talking about their arrangement, whereas in combination, you're just talking about scattered groups. All right, so let's see some more questions. Try this one now. So focus on the fact that what is so special about the month February. That's very important for you to understand in this question. What is so important about the month of February? Focus on that. Yes, any answers? Ananya, Rahul, Zoya? That is correct, Zoya. So that is the typicality of a leap year. What is to be done in this question? That's very important for you to know. Okay, let's see. So the question's language is that you have to prepare a February calendar, right? And to serve all possibilities in future, which means that if you're preparing a February calendar, that's correct, Ananya. Very good. So when you're preparing a February calendar, so when you're preparing a calendar, you basically need the starting day, because the starting day can be a Monday or a Tuesday or a Wednesday or a Thursday or a Friday or a Saturday or a Sunday, right? There could be any of these 7 days when you are starting with a calendar. And for the case of February, as I was giving you guys a hint, there is another confusion. If it's a leap year, then there will be 29 days. If it's a non-leap year, then there will be 28 days. So depending upon whether I'm talking about a leap year or a non-leap year, all of these situations will give rise to two cases. That means what? For a leap year, I will have 7 cases, because my month can start with a Monday or a Tuesday or a Wednesday or a Thursday or a Friday or a Saturday or a Sunday. Similarly, for a non-leap year also, I will have 7 cases, because the same 7 cases will arise for a non-leap year also. So total, how many calendars are possible for the month of February? There are 14 calendars possible for the month of February. Is that clear? So February is a typical month. That is why you could create 14 calendars, which also tells you that if it was any other month, then how many calendars would have been there? If it was not February, it was any other month, then how many calendars would have been possible? Then 7 calendars. Very good. Why? Because it's just a confusion for the month of February, not for any other month, because of the leap year or a non-leap year. Any other month will never be affected by a leap year or a non-leap year. So if this question comes up for any other month rather than February, then your answer will be 7. If it comes for the month of February, then your answer will be 14. Please remember it now, because it's very important for these competitive examinations to remember the logic that you have done, so that you can very quickly answer it when it comes in the exam. Is that clear, everyone? So first question was giving you a knowledge of and or situation. The second question is telling you a knowledge of calendars, if it is for February or any other month. Okay, let's take up another question. So the best part of preparing is that you should be able to visualize the questions. So for example, here the visualization that I have been trying to make here is what? If you're talking about 3 colors like red, blue, and green, right? And I just keep them like that, I don't talk about their arrangements, then it will be a question of combination. But if I start arranging them, I know that red can be in the first place, blue in the second place, green in the third place. Then I can bring the red in the second place, blue in the first, green in the third, and so on. So many arrangements will be possible. So from the language of the question, you will have to understand. Nobody is going to tell you in the question if it is a question of permutation or a question of combination. The language of the question will tell you whether it is a question of arrangement being talked about, then it is a question of permutation. If arrangement is not being talked about, then it is a question of combination. All right. So visualize the questions so that you yourself are able to understand the question is talking about arrangements or not. Let's take it further. Let's start solving this question now. It's a very simple question, but with a very, very common confusion. And it is the third concept which I want you guys to learn. Because once you have learned this concept, then it will be very easy for you to solve all similar questions of this category. Yes, any answers? As I said, try to visualize the question. That is why I had shown that figure to you guys in which I had displayed that arrangement. Always try to visualize these questions. It becomes very easy to solve them. Okay, so Zoya says 20, Ananya says 729, but not so sure. 3 to power 6. All right, let's see. So, okay, Rahul says it's 63. Let's try. I said it's very important to visualize such questions. Okay, so visualize yourself as this person. You have 6 friends in your list. All right, so let's call your friends as A, B, C, D, E, and F. These are your friends, and you want to invite these friends. Now, to invite these friends, you have 3 servants. So let's call those servants as S1, S2, and S3. Imagine yourself assigning a job. Now, first I think of inviting the friend A. To invite the friend A, how many options do I have? I can send servant S1, or I can send the servant S2, or I can send the servant S3 also. So to invite A, I have how many options? 3 options. Similarly, when I think of inviting B, again, I will have 3 options because nowhere the question says that once a servant has invited a guest, he will not be free for inviting the other one. So I can wait for the first servant to come back, and he can again go to the same servant can again go to invite the next guest. So again, I have 3 options, 3 options, 3 options for all of them. All right. So Rahul, I'll clarify your doubt. So for all my friends, I have 3 options because I can send the first servant or the second or the third to invite any of my friends. Now, is it an and situation or situation? It's an and situation. Why? Because I'm planning to invite my first friend also, and second also, and third also, and fourth, and fifth, and sixth. So all these answers will be multiplied. So what Ananya said is the correct answer. The correct answer is 3 raised to power 6. Is that clear, everyone? Is that clear to everyone? The answer is 3 raised to power 6. All right. Now let's clarify, Rahul, why is your answer not correct? So Rahul, what you were trying to do was you were trying to pick one guest out of these 6, then pick 2 of them, then pick 3 of them. It doesn't make any logic when I've already picked up one of them. Now I'm left with 5. How am I selecting 2 out of 6? It doesn't make any sense. Right, Rahul? So the right way of imagining these questions is always the same logic. Now I can change the same question with a different language. Like if I say that I have some boxes, okay, I have 6 boxes and I want them to be lifted by 3 servants. Any of these 3 servants, only one servant will be lifting the box. Okay, in how many ways these boxes can be lifted? Again, the same answer, because the first box has 3 options to be lifted by any of the 3 servants. Second box also has 3 options. Third box also has 3 options. The fourth one, the fifth one, and the sixth one. All of them have 3 options each. All right. So the answer will be 3 raised to power 6 again. So they can change the language of the question, but the format of the question will remain same. And how do you understand this is there are some people who are available to do the job. All right. They are in the base. And the ones who are getting affected, invited, or lifted, or whatever will be in the power. There is another way of remembering it. What remains in the base and what remains in the power. A very easy one. Something which will happen only once will come in the power. Okay. And something which can get repeated will come in the base. That's another easier way to remember it. Each and every friend will be invited only once. So he will be sent an invitation only once. Obviously, you are not going to send all the 3 servants to invite him. So that goes in the power. But yes, a servant can be repeated. I can send the same servant to invite 6 friends. I can send 2 of the servants to invite all the 6 friends, right? So I can repeat a servant. Suppose the servant S1 goes to invite the first friend. Servant S1 also goes to invite the second friend. I can repeat the servants. So the ones that can be repeated will always be in the base. That's an easy way to crack such logic. Is that clear, everyone? Okay, so something which can take repetitions will be in the base. Something which will happen only once will be in the power. Is that clear? Shall I give you another question based on the same logic? Tell me if you have a doubt, or otherwise I'll give you a question based on this logic. Rahul, Zoya, Ananya, Ankit, tell me. Shall I give another question? Okay, try this. Suppose there are 5 people traveling in the lift. Okay, there are 5 people traveling in the lift, and they have options of getting down at 3 floors, any of the 3 floors. So there is a floor number 1, there is a floor number 2, there is a floor number 3. So these 5 people can get down at any of the 3 floors. In how many ways can these people get down at these floors? Tell me. In how many ways these people can get down at these floors? How many ways it is possible? Remember what I said. The ones that can be repeated will be in the base. The ones that will happen only once will be in the power. Apply that logic. Correct. So the first person has 3 options. He can get down at any of the floors. Second person also has 3 options. He will get down at any of the floors. Third person can also get down at any of the 3 floors. So it's like 3 into 3 into 3. How many times? 5 times. Okay. So 3 into 3 into 3. How many times? 5 times. So the answer is 3 raised to power 5. Is the same logic working? Yes, it is working. I said something which will be repeated. A floor will be repeated, right? All the people, suppose the first one moves down at floor number 1. Second person also moves down at floor number 1. So floor number 1 can definitely get repeated. So floors will come on the base. Something which will happen only once, a person will get down only once, will come in the power. Right? So I hope this shortcut will help you. This trick will help you to solve such questions wherever you have a confusion. What is in it? What is in it? What's power? All right. So always remind yourself of this trick. Is that clear? So till now we have done 3 concepts. First concept, the concept of and or. Second one, the concept of these kind of questions in which the power and the base is there, right? And the third concept, which was based on the previous question, wherein you were talking about, let me just take you to that question. So in that one, you were talking about the calendar being based on a month, right? So that was the second concept. Any problem in these 3 concepts? So calendar has a huge importance when it comes for February, otherwise it remains same for all other months. And third is this concept of something which can take the repetition will be in the base, and the power will always be something which will happen only once. Remember that, okay? So let's move ahead with few more concepts. Try this. So this is the next concept in which you are making some people sit in an alternate manner. So 4 boys and 4 girls, they are supposed to sit alternately. How can you make that happen? So call those boys as B1, B2, B3, and B4. Call those girls as G1, G2, G3, and G4. Then think of what can you do about their arrangement. Try to visualize it. You have to make them sit alternate. So if you start with girl, okay, then you will have a boy next, then again a girl, then a boy, then a girl, then a boy. This is one kind of arrangement. But please remember, when you are beginning with a girl, right? So there are 3 boys right now. So obviously there will be another GB combination coming up. So I know that there are 2 kinds of arrangements possible. A girl, boy coming 4 times. Or I can begin with a boy. So boy, girl, boy, girl pair coming 4 times. These are the 2 arrangements possible. But please remember, in any one of these arrangements also, there is a lot of things possible inside. What is that? So Ananya's answer is 1152. Zoya's answer is 576. Any more answers? Okay, now how do you look at such questions? I said there are 2 arrangements possible, either this or this. Please notice, I said either the first one is possible or the second one is possible. That means whatever is the answer for the first one and whatever is the answer for the second one will be added together because of the word or. So what is the answer for the first situation? These are any of the 4 girls. Now, 4 girls can interchange their positions. I can keep a G1 here, G2 here, G3 here, G4 here. Or I can keep G1 here, G2 here, G3 here, G4 here. So I can make them interchange or swap their positions. They all can change positions between themselves. 4 girls changing positions between them can be done in how many ways? 4 factorial ways. Similarly, these 4 boys can interchange their positions in how many ways? 4 factorial ways. Same will happen for the second case also. So what does it become? It becomes this plus this. That is twice of 4 factorial multiplied with 4 factorial. Is this concept clear? Then we can look at the calculations also. Is the concept clear or not? Right. So when you calculate this, you get the answer as 1152. Is that clear, everyone? So understanding the concept, understanding the questions, language is very, very important, right? So the way you read the question, that itself gives you the clarity of how to solve it. So how did you read the question? There are 4 boys and 4 girls to be kept alternate. So I can either begin with a girl or begin with a boy. So or itself indicates that the 2 answers will get added up. The first answer, when I look into the details, I get to know that the 4 girls can interchange positions between themselves in 4 factorial ways. 4 boys can also interchange positions only between themselves in 4 factorial ways. Do not make a mistake of taking it as 8 factorial, because in that case, you will not be assuring that boys and girls are alternate, because then interchange between a girl and a boy will also be allowed. So what you kept them as alternate will get disturbed. Is that clear, everyone? So this is the 4th logic, which talks about people being kept alternate. Okay, so for alternate, you have to always think of how many options do I have, then add those answers in the end. Done? Okay, let's take up another question. This is a very interesting question. Look at its language very clearly and then think what do we do. So what do we do in this question is basically focus on the language. It's not that difficult as it looks. Yes, is the language of the question clear? So the question says there are 10 positive numbers such that n1 is less than n2 is less than n3 up to n10. Then how many triplets can be chosen such that first number is less than second number is less than third number? That means the question is also talking about some kind of an arrangement. The 3 numbers that I'm interested in should be such that they are in the ascending order. Now, please remember, This is already given in the question. As I said, question is very simple. It's just that they are trying to make it look difficult, but it is not. Because of the fact that the numbers are already arranged in ascending order. So whichever three numbers I will pick from this list, they will automatically be in the ascending order. Isn't that? Whatever three numbers you will be choosing, to keep them in ascending order, there will be only one possible way. Okay, so only one possible arrangement. It looks as if it's an arrangement question, but it is not, because it's a one single arrangement. All right, so the logic is that they are just trying to confuse you as if arrangement is important in this question. No, it is not. Arrangement is important, but I don't have options of arranging them. If I'm picking three numbers like say 5, 7 and 9, the only one way of arranging them is 5, 7, 9 only. Why? Because 7, 5, 9 will not be allowed, 9, 5, 7 will not be allowed. So all those arrangements will not be allowed only. So what is the point of thinking that it is an arrangement question? No, it is not. Are you clear? So from the language, it looks as if it's an arrangement question, but it is not. So please remember, what blunder and what logic you are being clarified through this question, learning from this question, is that do not always think that permutation comes into picture if your numbers are getting arranged. There is a bigger meaning to it. Permutation comes into picture when there are different arrangements possible for the things that you are talking about. There is a difference between saying that they can be arranged and saying that there are different arrangements possible. Here also, my numbers are being arranged. But how many ways? Only one way. The first number, then the second number, and then the third number, such that they are in the ascending order. Is there any other arrangement of these numbers allowed by your question? The answer is no. Is that clear, everyone? So please do not think that it's an arrangement question. It's only one single arrangement which is allowed. So obviously it is not actually an arrangement question. Everyone clear? So it is only selection question. So when it is only selection, the logic becomes using the formula NCR. So I asked in the beginning, are you aware of the basic formulas? So this is the basic formula for selection. But by that time, only few students had logged in. So I hope all those who logged in late, are you clear with this formula NCR? Is there anyone who doesn't know how to use this formula and when to use this formula? So NCR means N is the number which is total available to me. R is the number that I am selecting out of it. How many numbers are available to me? 10. So N is given in your question as 10. How many are you supposed to select out of it or choose out of it? A triplet. That is, you are allowed to choose 3. Right? So the answer is 10C3. Very good, Saurav. Then please quickly tell me the answer of 10C3. Calculate it. What is the answer for 10C3? Rahul, Saurabh, Zoya, Ananya, Ankit, please answer it. What is 10C3 value? Quickly. Correct. Very good, Saurabh. So it comes out to be 120. Okay. Everyone got it? Yes. Very good, Zoya. And I hope it's clear why it is not NPR and why it is NCR. A lot of people think that it is an NPR question. It is not. Okay. So please remember that hidden trick that they do in these questions, or better to call it as a hidden trap that they put in these questions. They make the student feel as if it is an arrangement question. But please remember, if it is only one single arrangement being allowed, then it is not actually an arrangement question. Okay, so it's not a permutation question in that case, it is just a selection question. Everyone clear? So 5 concepts till now through 5 questions. Now let's move ahead. Anyone wants to ask any doubts till here? Okay, so in the next sheet, I'm going to give you the details of the course, and then I'll move ahead with few more questions. So all those who are interested in IPM 21 online course, this is the details. You will have 3 live lectures per week, 1 for verbal, 1 for quant, 1 for DI, 250 plus recorded concept videos. So what we do in these recorded concept videos is that the shortcuts, the tricks are recorded for you so that you know how to solve a question quickly and with accuracy. So all these shortcut tricks, which are very important for you to understand for competitive exams, are recorded. The concept is also recorded for you along with that. Then you will be given, okay, subject, Zoya. Okay, so verbal, which is English, math, and DI, reasoning part. So there is a quant part, which is purely the math part. Then the reasoning. Then you'll have questions on. So if you're appearing for CLAT, you will have a law part also. And if you're appearing for IPM or DUJAT, you might be having a GK class also. So all those classes will be arranged for you. But yes, 3 live classes per week, depending upon what you're enrolling for. All right. So 3 live lectures, 250 plus recorded concept videos, 9 IPM online tests. Now, these tests are very important for you because please remember, when you're appearing for competitive exams, you should be able to judge where you stand, what is your standing, and what actually you need to study in detail. That's very important for you to know. Because the way you study for school exams is that first you finish the syllabus and then you start taking papers to see where you stand. Here, the concept is little reverse. First, you take IPM exams as in the mock exams, not the actual one, right? So first you appear for these exams, which are called as the mock exams, and you get to know where is your weakness and where is your strength area. So in that case, accordingly you study, all right? So it's little reverse process. So taking the mock exams and studying will go together. It's not that first you finish the syllabus and then you start taking the test. So it's very important for you to take these online tests because first of all, they are very close to the actual test because it's not that they are of some other level and the actual test is going to be of some other level. It's not like that. It's going to be very close to the actual exam that you're going to face. So that gives you a very good insight of what is going to be there in that exam for you. The Telegram discussion group is very good tool which is available to you to get your doubts clarified at any point of time. So you can definitely make use of it. And there is a discount which is being given to you at 60% for your Diwali festive season. And to use that, you will have to use the coupon code IDAYK2. All right. And you can see that there is a link on the screen, which you can again go through and find more details of the course. All right. You can visit our website, hitbullseye.com. There also you will find a lot of details. If you want to contact us, you can definitely. So this was for IPM. Now let me just move on to the page wherein the details for, let me just first share this with everyone. Okay. So I've shared this link with you all. So you can definitely go through this link and see for more details for IPM. Next sheet, I'm going to show you the details for the CLAT exam. So these are the details for CLAT exam. So if you're appearing for CLAT, planning to appear for CLAT, you will be having 4 live lectures per week because it will be having law as well as, and you will have 250 plus recorded concept videos, and again 90 plus mock tests, Telegram discussion group, same things. And please remember, again, the importance of taking mock test is going to be very high for you. Again, the same discount is being offered here also. And the coupon code that you'll have to use to avail this discount will be IDAYK1. All right. So definitely think about it so that you can avail the discount well in time so that then later on there is no repent. Now coming down to how you prepare, that basically is that first you understand the concepts in the classes. You will be given ebooks for the theory part so that you don't have to run around for any other book. All the concepts will be there for you in the recorded form of the videos. The classes will also remain recorded in your login so that if you ever happen to miss a class, you can definitely go through the recording. If you want to revise the class, again, the recording will be always available. That is a very good advantage that you will always have. And the mock test, as I said, is going to be very close to the actual class, actual level of the paper that you're going to take up, right? So that's going to give you a very good idea before you actually take up the exam. Anything that you guys want to ask about it? Whatever I've talked about the courses. Again, you can visit the website. I have shared the link with you guys and you can go through more of the details. And there are numbers there on the screen on the website that you can definitely call up at for more details. Any clarity needed, or should I take up 1 or 2 questions more? Yes, GK will also be covered for you. So whichever course you are going to enroll for, the package will be according to that. Right, Zoya? So definitely it depends whether you're enrolling for CLAT or you're enrolling for IPM, right? Okay, let's move ahead with more questions. Right. Try this question. It's a very simple question based on, again, selection, the way you're going to select the white squares and the black squares. Yes, any idea? Okay, so chessboard has an 8 by 8 structure that you all know, and they are telling you to choose the black one. Yes, that's correct, Rahul. So the black one will be any of those black squares which are available. So now chessboard has an 8 by 8 structure, which means there will be 32 black and 32 white squares, right? So it has an 8 by 8 structure, which is 64 cells, out of which 32 are black and the rest 32 are white. So when you're choosing the black, any of those 32 can be selected. So any one out of those 32. Very good, Rahul. Your answer is correct. But when you are selecting the white, you will not be allowed to choose from the same row or column from which the black has been selected. So suppose this is the black one that you have selected. You're not supposed to pick up the white from the same column or the same row. So out of these 32, the 4 which are going to lie in the same column and the 4 which are going to lie in the same row get eliminated from my choice. So 8 will be reduced from my choice. Why? Because the 4 white which will be present in this column and the 4 white which will be present in this row will not be allowed to be selected. So the selection of white will not be from 32, it will be from 32 minus 8. That is, I am not allowed to. So Rahul, you have to put a minus 8 here. I think it is just a typo at your end. Isn't it, Rahul? So, yeah, so I think, okay, you have written that 32C1. That's also fine. So the choice of the black ones is going to be from 32 minus 8. So that's going to be 24C1. Is that clear, everyone? So the answer comes out to be 32 multiplied by 24. Quickly find out which option, which option is coming out to be correct. Quickly find out the answer. Okay, now for such questions, always again take one more trick. The last 2 digits are 4 and 2. They will multiply to give me an 8 in the end. And there is only one option which is giving 8 in the end. So of course that has to be the answer. Okay, so be careful about such things also, which can help you quickly mark the options. You don't have to always find out the answer so perfectly because options are there to help you out. Is that clear, everyone? Okay, let's move on to the next question. So probability is the next concept that I'm taking up. So probability, you all are aware of what probability is all about. Probability basically talks about questions based on dices, question based on a single die or dice, or questions based on cards, or questions based on a coin. So these are the normal questions that probability is based on. But what is the concept of probability? Probability says that whichever events probability you are trying to find out, probability will always be equal to the favorable outcomes in the numerator and total outcomes in the denominator. Probability is always the number of outcomes which are favoring the event whose probability you are trying to find out in the numerator total number of outcomes in the denominator. I'm sure you all know this basic formula. Let's quickly take up a question on probability. Two dice are thrown simultaneously. Find the probability of drawing a total of 7. Total of 7 means the sum on the two dice that you are throwing has to be 7. In how many ways will it happen? So when you're throwing two dice, I hope you guys are aware, if you're throwing only one die, how many total cases are there? The total cases are 6. When you're throwing two dice, the total number of cases becomes 6 into 6, that is 36. If you're throwing 3 dice, then the total number of cases becomes 6 raised to power 3, right? So the number of dice always goes in the power. All right. So here in this question, you're throwing two dice. So when you're throwing two dice, the total cases, first of all, focus on total cases. How many total cases are there? Total cases are going to be 6 raised to power 2, that is 36. How many are favorable for you? Favorable are those who are going to give me a total of 7. That is the sum on the first die and the number on the second die has to be 7. So this will tell me how many are favorable for me. So the favorable cases will be kept in the numerator. Total cases, which is 36, will be kept in the denominator. So Zoya has given the correct answer. Very good, Zoya. Anyone else ready with the answer? Think of how many cases will give you a sum of 7. So sum of 7 can come with first die giving me a 1, second die giving me a 6. First die giving me a 2, second die giving me a 4, then a 3 and a 4. Sorry, here it has to be 5, right? Then it has to be reversed. 4 on the first die, 3 on the second die, 5 on the first die, 2 on the second die, then eventually the last. So obviously I know there are how many favorable cases? There are 6 favorable cases. So favorable cases have come out to be 6, and we just discussed that total cases are 6 raised to power 2. So the probability will be 1 by 6. So the needed probability of this question comes out to be 1 by 6. Is that clear, everyone? Now please remember, this sum of two die always follows a pattern. If I change this question, suppose, to a sum of 10, what will be your answer? Sum of 10. I'm changing the question to sum of 10. What will you do? A sum of 10 will never be made with a 1 and a 9 because 9 is not even available on the die. It will not be allowed with a 2 and a 8 because 8 is not even there in the die. Similarly, 3 and 7 I cannot have. So the immediate beginning has to be always from 6. Always think like this. 6 is the biggest number that I can have. So 6 on the first die, 4 on the second die. Then 5 on the first die, 5 on the other die. Then 4 on the first die, 6 on the other die. That's it. These are the only 3 favorable cases that I can have. Is that clear, everyone? So don't always try to think of all possible cases. Immediately start with 6. So 6 with 4, 5 with 5, 4 with 6, then 3 with 7 is not allowed. So I stop. So 3 favorable. Total is again 36. So 3 by 36, that is 1 by 12 is the answer. Got it, everyone? I was telling you that the sum follows a pattern. Look at that. What is the minimum possible sum when you're throwing two dice? What is the minimum sum that you can have? The minimum sum can be 2, then 3, then 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm again continuing the sum here. Sum can be 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. That's it. So minimum I can have a sum of 2 by having 1, 1 on both die. Maximum I can have a sum of 12 by having 6, 6 on both die. Now, with a sum of 2, you know there are how many favorable cases? I'm writing the favorable cases now. Favorable case will only be 1. For a sum of 3, there will be 2 favorable cases. For this, there will be 3 favorable cases, 4 favorable cases, 5 favorable cases, and for this one, there will be 6 favorable cases. Now the number of favorable cases will start reducing. For a sum of 8, there will always be 5 favorable cases, then 4, then 3, then 2, then 1. Remember this pattern. It will be very helpful for you to not solve it completely, but remember the pattern only. Okay. So for the sum of 2, there is only one favorable case. For the sum of 3, there are 2 favorable cases. The favorable cases will increasing with the sum till 6 favorable cases for sum of 7. For a sum of 8, now favorable cases starts reducing. So it becomes 5, 4, 3, 2, and last is 1. Is this pattern clear to all of you? So this pattern can help you remember such questions very, very quickly. Okay, everyone clear? Any doubts? Okay, let's take up one more question on probability, and that's based on, again, the same logic of leap year that you discussed with me. Try this question. A leap year is selected at random. The probability that it will contain 53 Mondays is what? So probability, please remember, the basic formula for probability is favorable cases in the numerator, total cases in the denominator. That's how you solve probability. Now you want to solve probability of having 53 Mondays. Try it. Yes, any answers? Okay, first of all, start with the knowledge. Leap year has how many days? Answer it. Leap year has how many days? Yes, guys, tell me. Leap year has how many days? 366. That's perfect, Saurav. So in these 366 days, how many complete weeks will be there? So for complete weeks, you are going to divide it by 7. So when you divide this number by 7, it gives me a 7 multiplied by 5, giving me a 35 there. 1 goes forward. 7 twos are 14, and 2 comes as a remainder. Right? Why am I doing this calculation? Because when I'm dividing this number by 7, it is telling me that there will be 52 complete weeks coming up. 52 complete weeks coming up, and there will be 2 remainder. 2 remainder means 2 more days. After completing 52 complete weeks, there will be 2 more days. Correct, everyone? Very good, Rahul. That's correct. Now, these 52 complete weeks will definitely give me 52 Mondays, right? Nobody can stop me having one Monday from each of the weeks. So there is no probability that is coming up here. It is sure going to happen that I will have 52 Mondays from here. The only point is that I want one Monday from here also. Okay, I want one Monday from these 2 remaining days also. Now, please remember, these are 2 remaining days, the last 2 remaining days. So, of course, they are consecutive. They're not just any 2 random days. They are 2 consecutive days. What are 2 consecutive days possible? It can be a Monday, Tuesday. It can be a Tuesday, Wednesday, or a Wednesday, Thursday, or a Thursday, Friday, or a Friday, Saturday, or a Saturday, Sunday, or a Sunday, Monday. These are the only possibilities of the last 2 consecutive days. How many are these in total? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So total are 7. How many of them are favorable? Favorable will be those who are going to give me a Monday. So favorable is the first one and the last one. So favorable are only 2. So what is the answer? See, please remember, no probability is coming up from this part, because this part is surely going to happen. Probability starts from here. The last 2 remaining days can be any 2 remaining days, but I want it to be a Monday. So favorable, it is 2. Total, it is 7 combinations. So the answer has to be 2 divided by 7. Is that clear, everyone? So Rahul, Zoya, yes, you guys have given the correct answer. I hope it's clear to all others also. Saurav, it's clear? Saurav, is it clear? Saurav, are you there? Yeah, okay, fine. So we've already exceeded the time. I would like to stop here now. So because of you guys not being able to connect with the audio, I had to reconnect and start the class again. So what you have learned in today's class, of course, it's a small short class in which you have not completed the entire concept. But what I've tried to tell you here is a very important fact, two important facts. One is, please remember, when you're appearing for these competitive exams, it's very important that you keep taking mock exams, because they make you realize and understand where you stand, what are your weak areas, what are your strong areas, so that you can study accordingly. It's not that first you will finish your entire syllabus, first you will study everything and then you will take mocks. It's not going to be like that, okay? Because actually what to study, that answer will come only when you're taking mocks and you are able to understand where am I lagging, okay? Where is my weak area? And please remember, the strength areas also need to be taken to the next level. That's also very important. Don't be just happy with your strong areas. You know that a strength area can be further enhanced so that it becomes a perfect strength area for you. So that kind of direction will come up only when you are taking marks, because it's an individual thing, right? I cannot give you a common thing for everyone which will work like, okay, start studying this topic, start studying that topic. That will not work for everyone. It is an individual thing which will be actually coming up as an answer from you guys itself when you are taking mocks. That is first tip which I have given you. Second is, whenever you are doing questions, like we solved 8 questions today, and after each and every question I was giving you, what did you learn from this question? That's very important for you. So whenever you're solving questions, please do that same exercise. After solving a question, pause for a few seconds and ask yourself, what logic did I understand from this question? Why? Because questions might not repeat, but the logic will definitely repeat in some question or the other. All right. So the first question, now I'm just giving you a quick recap. First question, I gave you an understanding that it was based on and or logic. Second question, I told you that it was based on that February concept. So now you will remember the concept. Third, I told you that the base and the power. So the base will always be the one which can take the repetition. Power will always be the one which can only appear once. Fourth question, I told you about those alternate arrangements, right? In the fifth one, I told you about question giving you a trap where they make you feel as if it's an arrangement question, but there is only one single arrangement. So it doesn't come under the category of arrangement questions, right? Then the next question we picked up of that black and white squares, simple logic. Seventh, I picked up from probability about the sum on 2 dice, for which I have told you that please remember that pattern. That pattern will always help you. And the last question that we picked up again from leap years, talking about 53 Mondays. So please remember, in this question, first part of the question was a short thing. 52 Mondays are definitely going to come up, right? Only the 53rd Monday, I start talking about probability. So please remember, this question has given you a learning that something which is surely going to happen doesn't talk about probability. Probability comes into picture only when you are dicey about it, when you are unaware about it, when you are not sure about its certainty. Is that clear, everyone? So I hope these questions would have given you a little insight of the topic, but I'm sure you're going to follow the tips which I've given you. It's very important you know how to prepare. That's very important. You all can study, you all can be very devoted, but you should know the right direction of how to study. All right. Any questions, any queries that you guys have before I end this session? Anything that you guys want me to clarify? You guys can speak up if you want any clarity, or you can put up in the chat. No doubts? All right. So all the very best to all of you. Keep safe and do go through the link which I shared with you guys. You will definitely get to have better clarity of what is going to be offered to you. And you will definitely get all your answers solved, and you will get a better idea of how you're going to prepare and what kind of material is going to be available to you. All right. So do go through that website, which I shared the link for, and all the very best to all of you. Keep safe. Goodbye. Most welcome, Saurav. Thanks a lot. Okay, happy Diwali to all of you. Yeah. Thank you. Thanks to all of you. Thank you, Zoya. Thank you, Rahul. Thanks, Saurav. Happy Diwali. Goodbye, guys.